This is the Wild World podcast. Today we will discuss some animal-themed Halloween costume ideas and get into one of the most famous cryptids of all time.
Welcome to episode 22 of the Wild World podcast. I'm your host Thomas from the Wild World YouTube channel, and joining me as always is my co-host Mika.
We just released our first interview episode, so let us know if you liked that and we will do more. I'm getting very excited for the Halloween season, and I already have at least one wildlife-themed Halloween event planned. But before that happens, Thomas's birthday and mine are coming up. So what do you have on your wildlife radar, and how about birthday plans?
I have no plans. I haven't seen any wildlife. I guess a little teaser for the next video will probably be something related to wolves. So I'm just going to be reading up about wolves and reminiscing about the time we got to be face to face with wolves.
That was a good time. It was a bit cold though.
It was worth it though. Not many people get to touch a wolf.
So cold.
Or I'll just wear better clothing.
Some people touch wolves every day. If you have a dog in your home.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not really.
But how... Well, it still isn't like Canis lupus was it familiaris?
Yeah, I mean it's like the same, but it's not the same. I mean, your dog probably isn't gonna bite your face off.
Neither did the wolf.
Yeah, but they could.
I'm sure some dogs could bite my face off if they wanted to.
Well, what were you gonna say?
What's your wildlife radar?
I have so many things that I wrote down. Like, I have so many things to talk about. It's crazy. So, for birthday plans, I'm going to see the effigy mounds. They were built about 2,000 years ago by indigenous people of the area, and there are many that are animal-shaped. They're like sculptures. So usually you go to see, like, cliff carvings, you know? But this is a sculpture version of that. I've been seeing lots of monarch butterflies. They must be migrating through here. Last month, I forgot to mention some more cool animals that I saw because I didn't see them in the wild. I saw them at the state fair. There was a reptile house there with some animals that had been lent to the fair from private collections. I thought of you the whole time because I saw a reticulated python, a Burmese python, an anaconda. The three biggest snakes were all there, I think, if I remember correctly. I thought it was fascinating because that meant that someone was keeping those as pets. And some of them weren't even legal in my state. They had to be there on special permission. That was pretty crazy. I wish you were there with like a ruler. You're like, how big does a reticulated python really get, you know?
First, I'd ask how big they thought it was, and then I'd just shake my head like, let's see about this.
And then you'd break the glass.
Yeah.
And then I also saw our favorite, the dwarf caiman, and I saw lots of other good things there. It was great. Yesterday, while I was working, I discovered a species that was new to me. The pirate bug. Have you heard of that?
I have not.
They're like a millimeter in size, and they're black and white and gray. Checked, almost. They swarmed on me, and they attacked me. Their bites really hurt, even though they're so small. What they do is they eat insects, and they suck all the juices out, but I guess they thought I was a giant insect. They swarmed on me, they got stuck to my skin and my clothes, they crawled under my clothes. When I tried to get them off, I couldn't unless I scraped, and then that squished them, and then they exploded on me. And when they bit me, which is like they insert their mouth parts because they're getting ready to suck out all the juice from the insect, that left a huge red rash. And even a day later, they're still on my car. So when I got out of my car today, they attacked me again.
That's horrible.
It is horrible, yeah.
Isn't it horrible when you discover a new species and they're out to get you?
Yeah. I mean, that happened in Jurassic Park.
It did?
Really. It happened in Jurassic World.
It did?
They made a new species and then it was out to get them.
Oh, the locusts?
No, the Indominus Rex, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can say that about
I got attacked by the Indominus Rex of bugs. This is also sort of related to wildlife. I'm going to sound like such a shill right now, but I've gotten into this like perfumery brand They don't sponsor me, I'm just sort of interested in them. They're called Zoologist and they make wildlife or nature themed perfumes or scents. I have a sample of Zoologist Bee and it smells like delicious honey toast. Like I put it on today for work and I was just like sniffing my hand. I was like, I smell like honey. I don't know. It was good. I've read that some can be like a bit mustier and maybe not so great for me, but I am definitely interested in trying more in the future. I sent a
Yeah, you
link to
said
like their list. Did any of them look cool? I think squid is very popular.
if they are listening and want to send us some free samples,
Actually, they
want
should
us,
sponsor us because I am pretty sure I'm a fan. It's just so cool to
yeah,
have like legitimately wildlife inspired things in the beauty fashion world.
okay, yeah, and yeah, you don't apologize for being a shill. We're ready to shill, ready and shilling. I'm just gonna read out some of the names. So it's Bat Edition, Beaver
Yeah.
Edition, Bee, Camel. If you want to smell like a camel, Chameleon, Chipmunk, Civet, Cow, Dodo. Oh, Dodo Jackfruit, Dragonfly, Elephant. There's a lot. King
There are a
Cobra.
lot. I wonder what the cow scent is. Let me check that out. The cow scent is oh, it's like a cow pasture. It does have some milk scent, and then it's like different fruits and wildflowers that you might find in a cow pasture. What?
They've
Shark?
they've Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh yeah, I was wondering about that one for you. Like if you would like that or not. I don't know. Let me see
Now
that
I
one.
really want to be sponsored by them.
Yeah, can you imagine? It would be super easy to write the sponsorship video for that.
Yeah.
The Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's such a cool little picture too. It has the T Rex with his little hat.
He's a
The
T-Rex,
scents,
but he's a gentleman.
yes. The scents are like sort of tropical, I think, and then sort of woody, like being in a forest with T Rex. I guess no one really knows what T Rex smelled like, so.
I guess not.
But yeah, I'm sort of interested in them. I just think they're really unusual. And then what else do I have? I still have some more things to say. So I did mention that I was going to have a wildlife Halloween party. I'm throwing that for my coworker friends in mid-October. So it's animal themed, high or low effort, just dress up like an animal. I'm imagining that people are going to come in those steal his look meme outfits. Have you ever seen those?
No?
So, okay, we're gonna talk about this for the wild chat today. We're gonna talk about the steal his look meme and some good Halloween costumes. So, stick around for that. Finally, today I started listening to the podcast The Cryptid Factor. Restarby, please be listening. I love Restarby and I've decided to binge all his podcast content because a major life goal for me is to have him as a guest on this podcast. And I feel like I definitely need to be able to reference his podcast. So I've already started making notes on things from his episodes. Today I learned about this adorable creature called the pied butterfly bat or the panda bat. It is black and white like a panda and it lives in Central Africa. And at the time of the podcast episode being made, in like 2008, which is how far behind I am, it was just discovered. So it's super, super cute. You should
Wow.
look at it. Look at it
I
right
didn't know
now.
I didn't know his podcast was that old.
It's so weird because it starts in. Oh no, wait. The episode I'm thinking of was in 2013. So his first episode that's available is from 2008, and then it skips to the next episode being from 2013. But he implies that there are several episodes before then. So I think the ones in between were lost or just like aren't on the internet. And then there's probably some more time skips. It seems that he stops recording when he has to like film something.
Right.
And between now and 2013, he became really big. So I imagine that's why I think there's only 100 episodes, but I'm in 2013. So there probably won't be one a week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I remember, if I'm remembering correctly, that in one of the episodes they were doing it in like a food court they were recording it. And
Yeah. Yeah.
New Zealand, and Taika Waititi just happened to be walking by.
Yeah. So
This
funny.
is
Like
years ago when he wasn't as famous, but
they must have lived
yeah.
in sort of a small area before. So weird how the stars live before they're stars. But look at the picture of the panda bat.
Yep. It
It's
looks
cute,
like a
right?
panda and a bat.
So because I work with bats at my job now, it was just super relevant to me and exciting. I don't think I'm gonna see one here though. So you don't have anything else on your radar to add? Don't have any products to shill or anything? Oh, you got that product recently for your birthday. You did.
Okay, I guess I'll show this product. I don't even know what brand it is, but
It's on Etsy creator custom.
oh, oh, okay. Do you know the name of this creator? It doesn't matter. We'll put their link below. I got for my birthday a T-shirt with a picture of a jumping spider on it.
A really cute jumping spider.
Yeah,
This store has lots of different wildlife that you can get on the shirts. And are they very soft and good? That's what the reviews said. So
yeah. It feels like a pretty high quality T-shirt, which is
cool.
good. I feel like because Etsy can sometimes be a bit hit or miss. Like sometimes you can get like a really good bargain and really high quality, and sometimes you get something and it's like, oof, it's a bit not great. But this is pretty good.
So this has been Chill Hour. Thank you for listening. Potential sponsor.
Yeah, chilled multiple products that aren't paying us, and we told people about another podcast to go and listen to.
Well, that podcast is really good though.
It is really good. If you're listening to this podcast and you're on YouTube, please hit dislike, close down your YouTube browser, and go find the Cryptid Factor.
Oh, because the cryptid factor only talks about cryptids, and they talk about some like weird stuff too, like robots and UFOs. Whereas we have a more less going toward the weird and more going towards the factual. So I think you should supplement us with the cryptid factor, but don't replace us with the cryptid factor.
Okay. And if you know Reese Darby, ask him to be on our podcast.
Please ask him. It's my dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. News?
Yes, let's go to wildlife news. So, do you know where you would fly into if you were a massive elephant on a long journey, or the winner of an international equestrian competition, or another exotic animal going to your new zoo? Do you know, Thomas?
JFK in New York.
That's right. You would go to probably the Ark at JFK Airport in New York. It is for animal travelers, from prized racehorses to zoo animals and everything in between. So it's really big and impressive and well equipped. It's 14 acres, 178,000 square feet. I don't know that in metric, sorry. uh, it provides for all needs of the animals, including temperature, food, water, and calming, being calm. It quarantines the animals, and it has kennels, barns, and a vet clinic. There's even a room that can be filled with water and frozen for penguins. So it's just like this super classy hotel for animals. It's like that movie Hotel for Dogs, but not bad. Do you remember that movie?
I was just thinking there's a movie here that can be made. But yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that movie. I didn't see it though.
I don't think it was very good. I mean, I don't remember, but I feel like it wasn't very good. Anyway, guests at the Ark have included, over the years, lions, parrots, eagles, badgers, sloths, a capybara, a bear cat, and an anteater. This also reminds me of the movie 2012 when, like, the heroes of the story who are too poor to afford a ticket to the giant ship, spoiler alert, they're like in the cargo area, and then they see that the cargo area is full of animals. So they took all that space that could have been given to humans and they filled them with exotic animals to save them from the flooding, which is super interesting. Like there's like the giraffes and stuff. I mean, I agree with saving animals, but from a humanitarian perspective, It's pretty sad.
You said the heroes couldn't afford a ticket. Some of the heroes actually could afford a ticket, like Yuri.
He is not a hero. Yuri is a villain, and then at the end he redeems himself by throwing his sons up to say he sacrifices himself. Yuri is not a hero.
Who got the Bentley to start?
Engine start.
Yeah, but who landed the plane? And then he was so mean. He was like,
Someone that Yuri hired.
yeah, but Yuri was just looking out for himself. He was gonna abandon John Cusack and his kids in the mountains, in the Himalayas.
He did the best he could.
No, he didn't. Anyway.
So if we ever capture a mysterious animal and the government are trying to smuggle it into the US, it might end up at the Ark at JFK.
It might. Actually, who knows what's at the Ark now, right? Like maybe there's a whole secret wing. Maybe that's where they're keeping the aliens and the big feet and the unicorns, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That could be a movie. National Treasure 3. Nicolas Cage breaks into the Ark and he sees all these crazy animals that they're keeping in there. I would so watch that, you know what I'm saying? And it could be a collaboration with Night at the Museum because not only do they keep like national treasure in there, but they keep some museum artifacts, and then Ben Stiller and Nicolas Cage have to meet, and then they're like have a clash of personalities, but then they realize that the other person knows a lot, and then they have to like escape on the back of a large cryptid.
Well, there's already a movie called Night at the Ark.
Really?
I think.
Is it?
But, well, I think it's more about Noah's Ark.
Oh. Speaking of things we should watch, the podcast, The Cryptid Factor, it mentioned a few movies that had cryptids in them, and I was thinking we should start a new segment or thing where we like react to videos, right? You like that idea, right? React to movies.
Yep.
So I think we could watch something like that. Maybe the Ark one. I don't know how animal related it is.
Well, it's more about creationism.
Well, something. We can watch something. And if you like that idea, let us know.
Give this video a like.
Yeah,
Click on the dislike again so it cancels, and now click like if you've made it
and then
this
leave
far.
a comment saying specifically that you want us to react to movies with wildlife in them, because otherwise we won't know why you liked it.
Yeah, and leave a movie you want us to react to.
Oh, true. Okay, so that's my news for now. Do you have something?
Yes.
Okay.
So, in the last podcast we were talking about, in the last two podcasts we briefly mentioned the great white shark lineages. So not new species, but new lineages. But we very recently have actually discovered a new species of shark. Do you want to guess what kind of shark it is?
Like a dog fish or whatever, a dog shark, cat shark type thing, those little guys.
That's a really good guess, and no shade, but it's a more interesting shark than them.
Sounds a bit mean, what you just said. Like a hammerhead?
Correct.
Ooh,
Yes.
I did it.
You did it, yeah. So, knowing what you know and what we've discussed before, how do you think they discovered this species?
DNA sampling
Yeah,
from
it's
the ocean?
not quite. It was more they were doing
like
a survey.
Like food being sold someplace or something?
No, it was a scientific study. So it was about the bonnethead hammerhead shark. It seemed like they used to think there was a couple of species, one being on like the east coast of North America in the Western Atlantic. Where was the other one? And then the other one was in the Eastern Pacific. But so they did a survey. They did like DNA testing, which I guess is the most important part. But they also like took measurements, counted vertebra, all that stuff. And they found out that the ones on the eastern Atlantic, there's actually two different species, not just one. And the new one, this new, well, it's not new, but new to us, this new little hammerhead was given the name S. alleni, I believe, Alleni, named after a famous person with the last name Allen. Can you guess who it could be?
In Jurassic Park 3, doesn't the dinosaur go, Alan, Alan?
Yes, this shark was named after the fictional character of Jurassic Park 3.
Oh, wait, let me think. Alan.
It's one of those people where it's like at the foundation of a big corporation, there's always like this one big famous person, but then there's these other people to the side that you don't think of as much.
I have no idea. I don't know who this is.
Yeah, I don't think I'd heard of him before today, and if I had, I forgot his name. Apparently, Paul Allen was one of the co-founders of Microsoft in the 70s.
Oh,
and I guess he was a big philanthropist, so they were like, let's name it after him.
That's nice.
Yep.
Did he pay them money to do that?
Probably bought them off.
Yeah, and now he owns the whole shark species. He's going to keep them as decoration in his moat.
He trademarked sharks, so...
Yeah. Oh no,
Okay,
now his
next
lawyers
story.
are going to come after us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, my next story is about something you might have heard of. Actually, you probably have heard of it if you like dinosaurs and you're not slow to read things like me, slow to bring them up. So this is about some footprints that were found in China of a giant velociraptor relative called the Megaraptor. Scientific name Fujianipus yingliangi. I don't know. I'm probably saying that horribly. I'm sorry. It's the province they were found. So, they are, at that time, velociraptor type animals were the same size as tyrannosaur type animals, which, as time went on, the velociraptors, well, sorry, that's not true. This particular species is the same size as the tyrannosaurs at the time, but most of them were small. And then evolution favored the small raptors, and it favored bigger tyrannosaurs. So yeah, it was just evidence that there used to be huge velociraptors.
Yeah, I'm just looking at... Actually, no, this is more recent than I know of, I think. Talking about size, I was just looking it up. Standing at an estimated 1.8 meters at the hip. So if I was standing next to it, its hip would be taller than me.
But you're not very tall.
That is true.
Actually, I don't know how tall 1.8 meters is.
We should convert it for our American friends.
It's like less than...
It's 5'9", so average male height.
Yeah. So it's not really...
At the hip now, so...
Yeah.
I mean, it's not super big, but it's big for a raptor.
Yeah. People are always saying, in Jurassic Park, the velociraptors are too big and it's unrealistic, but why would they say that? Couldn't it be possible the velociraptor is a different species that was bigger?
Well, that's the thing. It's allegedly it was based on Deinonychus.
Uh-huh.
And they just used the name, or Michael Crichton used the name Velociraptor because he thought it sounded cooler than Deinonychus, I guess.
But it's Megaraptor. It's a Megaraptor. It's big.
Okay, what's more dangerous, a crocodile or a lion?
Depends. What am I?
I thought you were a human.
So, as a human, what's more dangerous?
Sure.
Where am I?
Where are you? You're in Kenya.
What is the surrounding landscape, and how many crocodiles and how many lions are there?
This was just a general question.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think I would prefer a lion to kill me because crocodiles thrash around, and it feels like that would be more painful.
A lion will do it gently.
Yeah, I'm good with cats. I think I could convince the lion to have mercy on me. Be like, kill me nicely, Mr. Lion. And he'd say, okay. That's how lions talk.
Right. You're able to communicate with him. You don't ask for him not to kill you, just to do it nicely.
Hungry. He's a hungry guy.
Okay, that's
And he
very
just had
considerate of you.
babies.
There's there's no real answer to that question anyway. I guess someone might say crocodiles kill more people, but this story is about a couple of lions that broke a record for lions.
Hmm.
Can you guess what record they broke?
Speed.
No.
Killing. Swimming. Something about swimming.
Correct. Apparently,
Swimming speed?
Sorry?
Swimming speed?
No, swimming distance.
Okay. Because I was going to say
So,
that I was right before when you said no.
right about what?
It being speed.
Oh, no, sorry, I don't think so. So, apparently, beforehand, when lions had been documented swimming, it was usually about 10 to 100 meters. So, it's about 30 to 300 feet. Was around, so about 100 meters was around what we thought the max was that they'd swim. But these two lions, two brothers, one of which only had 3 legs because he lost one in a trap that a human set out. They swam in Uganda's Kaizinga Channel, and they swam 1.5 kilometers. And they did it in a place that, I don't want to use the word infested, was filled with crocodiles.
Why did they do this? Just for fun?
That's that's a good question, but it doesn't. They don't think it was for fun. So there actually is a bridge, but they didn't take the bridge, and the reasonings or the theory is that because there was too much human activity around the bridge, they didn't want to get involved, so they decided to go the crocodile route. It seems that on their side of the river there weren't many female lions, and they'd possibly just been like beaten up by other males, so they went swimming to the other side of the river where there were more female lions. But unfortunately, apparently when they got there, the male lions there also beat them up.
They sound so pathetic, but also athletic.
Yeah. They're named Jacob and Tibu, I think. Tibu. Tibu. There's something inspirational about a lion with 3 legs breaking the lion record for swimming.
Good job, Mr. Lion.
Okay. Do you have another?
No, that's everything for wildlife news today.
Okay. We do Cryptic Court.
Cryptic Court.
In 1924, in the Pacific Northwest near Mount St. Helena, a group of miners led by Fred Beck were staying in a cabin in the wilderness when, in the middle of the night, rocks started hitting the cabin walls, and something attempted to break in by pounding on the walls and roof. The men fired off their guns through the windows at the creatures that were described as large bipedal apes. The area has since been renamed to Ape Canyon. So today, we are going to be talking about Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, the legendary creature said to roam around the remote wilderness of North America, described as a large, hairy, ape-like figure. It has been the subject of folklore, eyewitness accounts, and various reported sightings for many years. We have casts of mysterious footprints, eerie howls have been recorded, various videos and pictures, and it has been captivating imaginations and sparking countless investigations and debates. Today we discuss, is it real?
So, it was first called Bigfoot in 1958 after Jerry Crew, a bulldozer operator in Humboldt County, California, that's Northern California, discovered a set of large, as in 16-inch, humanoid footprints in Six Rivers National Forest. Many of his co-workers had seen similar things, so they all started calling the creature Bigfoot. So, what are Bigfoot's essential features? It's very, probably the most well-known cryptid. So, what makes it Bigfoot, It's pretty much always described as large, bipedal, ape-like, dark, and hairy. Sometimes it's tall, other times it's taller. Sometimes it's smelly, like I think someone described as a bunch of rotten eggs in a dumpster and then it rolled around in it or something. Uh, and it has scary eyes at night, which isn't really a feature of any ape, but could be. So, where is Bigfoot exactly? It's generally thought of as being from Western North America. That's where Bigfoot, the term started. Sasquatch is sort of a synonym for Bigfoot. That's a Salish word. That the Salish are from the Pacific Northwest, going inland to Idaho. It's also referenced by many indigenous cultures in the Americas, including the Alutiiq, which is in Alaska. Sorry, yeah. The Alutiiq is a group in Alaska who their word for the Bigfoot is Nantinak. And yeah, so there are many, many other versions of this. And it also has similarities to some things in the rest of the US, such as the skunk ape in the southeastern US. This isn't the US, but it's America. The Dark Watchers is something that the 16th century Spanish explorers and Mexicans were afraid of. And again, just a lot more in the.
Mm-hmm. I liked when you said, where is Bigfoot exactly? I thought you were going to give us coordinates.
Oh, yeah. I'm not revealing that information because I signed an NDA at my job.
Right. That's why you never talk about your job.
I did talk about my job.
But specifics are always like, there's certain specifics I'm not allowed to talk about.
Right.
Which is a bit suspicious, if you ask me.
Yeah, true. So I thought we should just try to go over this briefly because this is, like I said, one of the most famous cryptids. So we could possibly go over every single argument for and against, but I thought we should just go like the top reasons for it, the top reasons against it.
Yeah. It's almost disappointing that this is the cryptid we have because this is something that you'd want to do a really big deep dive into. Like there are videos or film reels taken of Bigfoot that have like 6-hour podcasts doing deep dives into them. So
you on your channel about Bigfoot?
Nope.
You haven't?
Nope,
Wait.
Never.
Wait, really? Why?
That's actually the reason why. It's because it'd be such a monumental task.
I guess you've made one about the Yeti.
Yeah, and even like that was like an hour long, I think, or something like that, and it was a very condensed version. But with the Yeti, like, there's not as much, at least, Western writings and documentaries and research into the Yeti compared to Bigfoot.
I don't know. The people voted for it, so I guess they're okay with a cursory discussion.
Yeah. So is it real?
Also love lake monsters, so maybe we shouldn't so much stock in the people.
Wow, you dictator.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's hard to know why they picked Bigfoot. Just because they knew what it was in some cases, probably.
I mean, we've already technically done Bigfoot, like a Bigfoot, like Old Yellowtop is supposed to be a Bigfoot.
Yeah, but that's so much more specific.
Yeah, and I feel like we're going to get more specific Bigfoot as time goes on. Okay, anyway.
So I thought I could go for the... Do you want to be have more of the pro things to say or the against?
Up to you.
Okay, fine. I'll be against for now. Would you like to go over the top reasons why Bigfoot could be real?
Okay, well, let's think. I guess there's been many, many sightings, like thousands, and there's probably hundreds every year. They seem to be concentrated in the Pacific Northwest. Specifically, I think Washington State has the highest amount, and specifically Olympic National Park, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but basically is a rainforest.
Yeah, it's a temperate rainforest. I've stayed there. Actually, it was so wet and miserable that my sister and I were like, we're done with this, and we slept in the car instead of camping in a tent.
And I guess there is, not just in Washington, but Canada, like British Columbia and other parts of the, anywhere in the Pacific Northwest, I guess, there's a lot of space, there's a lot of forest. It would be very hard to find a small population of an animal. There have been hundreds, if not thousands, of footprint casts over the years. What else has there been? I guess a lot of pictures and videos, but I guess you can debate the authenticity of them as well as everything else. And I mean, I guess as far as cryptids go, bipedal apes isn't the most ridiculous thing I've heard, not by a long shot. And, you know, an ape would be, I mean, usually when we think of apes, we think of an animal with high intelligence. So perhaps, and when we think of like, I guess a lot of people like to say that when you think of gorillas used to be quote unquote cryptid, at least to the Europeans, because they didn't believe they were real at first, although they were known to some of the people who are native in the area. Maybe it's something similar like to that. They're just even harder to find and a little more intelligent than gorillas.
Some more notes for the pro side there. Do you see them?
Oh, let's see what else we got. Could be extinct great ape. Is this I guess that's like the Gigantopithecus theory, that it's like a descendant of
Yeah,
Gigantopithecus.
not just Gigantopithecus.
Yeah,
Other
that's the
people
main
believe it
one.
could be something else. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard like Dryopithecus, and they say, well, how did it get there? Well, some people think it crossed the Bering Strait a few thousand years ago. Yeah, Jane Goodall believes that's a bit reductionist. She said, to be fair, she said that she's a romantic and she doesn't doubt the people, I guess. She wants to be sincere when people tell her that they've seen something. She's not like campaigning or giving lectures about Bigfoot definitely is real, a real animal. But yeah, she's open to it, I suppose. Over 10,000 sightings.
Who else believes?
Rhys Darby.
That's right. So, the two most important people in the world believe. That should be enough. Anyway, I'll go over some of the reasons why it could not be real. The first one is that many of the sightings have been proven to be hoaxes. It's one of the most hoaxed things ever. So, you know, how much of it is real at all? It's possible everything is a hoax. Other explanations for the sightings could be bears, humans acting and looking weird, like covered in furs that they're wearing, just being weird in the woods, you know, or hoaxing. It could be some escaped apes from like a zoo or a private collection. It could be any number of misidentified animals. Not everyone is great at identifying animals, so that's something to note. And finally, people tend to see faces in trees and other inanimate objects because that is a natural human tendency. So it could have, some of these sightings could just be like you see a weird tree and you think it's Bigfoot.
Yeah, pareidolia, right?
Yeah.
There's a good channel. When I was on that live stream at Bumbleberry, I got to meet Sasquatch Secrets. She's pretty open to Sasquatch, I think. I'm not trying to put words in her mouth, but she even did like this full stream with another scientist who I think is also open to Bigfoot, but they went over like how so many of the pictures are just, it's just a picture of a forest and like they zoom in and then like circle, I don't even know what, like a shadow or something. Like I'm trying to be really generous because I know a lot of the time the skeptics are like, oh, it's too shaky or it's too blurry, you can't see anything. And the video, you kind of can see a subject moving or something that vaguely looks like it could be the animal described. I honestly can't even make out like what shape you're supposed to be looking at. And I feel like if I just took random pictures of the forest and put them up, people would accept it.
Right. Okay, so beyond just the explanations for what the sightings could be, there are more reasons why Bigfoot is probably not real. One major thing is that the Pacific Northwest is a really bad climate for a large ape. If you think of all the apes that we know of, they live in like tropical regions with large abundance of food. So there's the orangutan lives in Indonesia, and then the gorillas and chimps live in Africa, jungly areas. There's a lot of food there, and there is not a lot of food, and there's a lot of cold weather in the Pacific Northwest. What say you to that?
I mean, I've heard some arguments that say that it would be enough food because I guess Olympic National Park is by the coast, and some people, like whether or not Bigfoot is a herbivore or mostly herbivorous or carnivorous, I'm not sure, but it seems like most people that believe in it agree that it's an omnivore, and they say that it could be eating fish, or they'd say that, well, if bears can be supported in that environment, then an animal of similar size should be able to be supported in that environment.
Yeah, that is interesting about this argument. Why are they saying that apes are so special they have to be in a tropical area? What makes apes different than bears? Do you know? Because I don't. Big brains that need a lot more food?
Do they need? So would a gorilla need more food than a grizzly?
I don't know.
I would imagine it was more like the type of food, but that's just a guess.
Yeah, I just don't
But
know
this would
why.
be a very specialized ape, though. Like,
Yeah. I remember when I was little, I was reading this book about biology written in the 70s or 60s, and it was like talking about how no scientists or scientists have now proven that the panda isn't a bear because the panda has a totally different diet than other bears, so it's bear is a misnomer, blah blah blah. And then now that has been proven wrong the other way, in that pandas are bears, and just because you have a specialized diet uh, doesn't mean you're not that thing. And also, we talked before about how pandas also still need a lot of protein.
right?
So even a
Plus,
specialized ape, it will still need the same nutritional profile. It's just a question of if it can get those things.
yeah. Plus, there's sort of the argument as to how closely related they would be to humans, like how far they branch off. I guess it's sort of a surface level thing, but if they're bipeds, and I guess if they're highly intelligent as well, like more so than the other known great apes, maybe they'd be a little closer to us. And if humans can survive in those environments as apes, maybe they can too.
Convergent evolution is a thing. I mean, fish and
Yeah, that's true.
whales both swim. Doesn't mean they're more closely related than whales and mice.
Sure, but I'd imagine, I think we're more close. A human is closer related. What did you say? The two things that can swim?
Whales and
A
fish?
fish?
No, I'm just saying, like, it's possible that bipedalism evolved twice. So,
Yeah, well, that's another thing. There's been many different bipedal apes in the past.
yeah. Okay, more reasons why the Bigfoot is not real. Why don't we have, like, solid DNA? Why don't we have lots and lots of tracks?
We do have a lot of tracks, though. Whether they're authentic or not, we have like so many casts.
Tracks that a professional could go in and find them. Like,
Ooh,
on any given day, they could go in and find some tracks. Like on any given day,
running
I
your
could go
mouth
and find
off.
you some deer tracks. You know what I'm saying? So
On any given day, could you go and find me some mountain lion tracks?
perhaps not.
Really?
But I'm
But there
not a
are
mountain
mountain
lion
lions in the area, right?
not a mountain lion expert, so maybe I could if I knew where they were. But
I'm just saying. But there, we should probably bring up. There's a famous anthropologist called Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum. Is it Meldrum? I think so. He wrote a book called Sasquatch Meets Science, and he has done a lot of studies on different footprint casts, and he believes that some of them to be authentic. I'm not really sure, but he's done a lot of work on Australopithecus footprints and early human ancestor footprints. But he's also done a lot. He's kind of a superstar in the Sasquatch world. But he believes that many of the casts are authentic, and they
did you
couldn't
say
have
they were
been hoaxed.
authentic and also definitely not a known species?
I presume so.
Hmm. Okay. All right.
I mean, if you wrote a book saying they're authentic but they're human footprints, that's not really.
Well, they could be something else. Any, like a bear, a weird distorted bear footprint, for example. But that's not what he's saying, right? Is what you're saying?
Right. No, yeah, no, I don't think that's his thesis.
Okay. Uh, and then my final point about Bigfoot, a reason not to believe, is this is a common thing in cultures around the world. Sort of like how ghosts are a common thing in cultures around the world, or vampires, I guess. So, this idea of a large, almost human thing. Actually, many people think that Bigfoot came here and melded with indigenous knowledge, but the like common conception of Bigfoot was really colored by the European wild man, which is a folklore from Europe. And then to show how common it is for people to imagine this kind of thing, there's also the Yeti, the Yowie, and multiple other examples throughout the world.
It is a bit strange and suspicious that all over the world there are these apes that we just can't discover them properly, and yet they're all bipeds as well. What's that
Yeah,
about?
because we're humans who like to imagine things similar to us. That's just how it is.
Okay.
Same
Um,
reason why when people draw aliens, they draw something that's bipedal with big eyes.
right. Another thing we should mention, or we're probably going to get in trouble, is the Patterson Gimlin film.
Get in trouble. Who's out here trying to get us in trouble?
If you talk about Bigfoot and you don't mention this film, what are you even doing?
Okay, talk about it then.
Okay, so this was filmed in October 1960s. I can't remember the exact date, early 1960s. Two men were out searching for Bigfoot on horseback in Bluff Creek, California. There was Gimlin and Patterson, two guys out searching for Bigfoot, and they had a film camera with them, a small one, I think 16 millimeter or something. And as they came around one area of the creek, they saw a Sasquatch walking from left to right. Patterson fell off his horse, but as he got up, he was able to pull his camera out and got about, I can't remember exactly how much, but about 30 seconds of footage of a creature walking across the frame. And to this date, it's never really been debunked. We've never found the supposed costume. Patterson has died. Gimlin is still alive, and he still contends that it was real. The costume, the costume, well, there we go. I just exposed myself. If it was a costume, it was a pretty good costume. This was like, so these guys weren't particularly rich or anything, and yet this costume, like, if you think the 60s, there's Planet of the Apes, there's 2001 A Space Odyssey. Like, this one is way beyond the quality of them. Some people say if you zoom in, it looks like you can even see muscles shake as she's walking across in her legs. It looks like there's muscles shake beneath the fur, which would have been really difficult to do back then. There's a lot of debate as to how big she was, but I guess those who are pro Bigfoot claim that she was over 6 feet, some say 7 feet tall. And then the other thing is that some people say that the limbs, because at one point she flexes the fingers on her hands, and her limbs aren't proportionate to a human limbs. So the Bigfoot believers would say it's not possible to fake it.
Do we really want to trust the word of a man who can't even ride a horse, though?
Well, his horse reared up when it saw the creature.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's not his fault. I see. I don't know. I guess I should rewatch that video.
Yeah, let's
Huh?
watch it right now. There's like a load of different stabilized versions and stuff.
Okay, you send me the best one and I'll watch it right now.
Okay, where's Best Crypt? Truth is Scarier Than Fiction has an alternate channel where he uploads like the original. Is this it? Okay, I'm just gonna send you a stabilized version, okay?
I feel like I've seen this used as like horror sort of, in a horror sort of way, because the part when it looks right at you, that part's
Uh,
freaky. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I think that's frame 358 or 385. It's like this famous frame.
Okay.
Apparently, the men said that when she looked back, they got the sense that it was "Don't follow me."
Yeah. Why does this video have such creepy music on it? It's sort of scary.
I don't know.
Well, a few things like the soles of the feet seem very pale.
Yeah,
Um, seems like she's wearing like butt padding to make it like more of a, I don't know, believable sort of thing. Like the muscles that you were talking about.
Right. I
I don't
think it's
really.
more in the lower leg you're supposed to see the shake. Although, as the skeptical side, people say, why aren't her like glutes firing more?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it looks like butt padding. It's
Okay.
just like big and not moving.
Right.
Uh, I don't know. Yeah, it's a pretty good costume for sure, if it is a costume. And it's definitely compelling footage.
The other thing though is that like this is a lot of people say this is like the holy grail of footage, and it's probably some of the best footage we have. And this was taken in the '60s, and we don't really have anything comparable.
Right. Like, what if this animal did exist, but it was lost a little bit after the 60s and we'll never know? We'll never be able
Yeah.
to prove it, right?
There's also the theory that the reason they were able to get close was because they were on horseback, and that like it just to the creature just smelled like there was horses rather than it sort of disguised that there was humans coming.
Oh. We should. How come more people don't use horses then? We should go on with
I don't
horses
know.
and look. You can ride a horse, right?
I haven't ridden a horse in a long time.
Well, it'll be fine. Just two of us, no one to help us in case we get lost, and two horses. Sounds great.
No.
Go
If
look.
this was a hoax, I do have to admit it was pretty. They pulled it off pretty well. There is a few people who have claimed that they were the person in the suit. Most famous one, I think, is Bob Hieronymus, who passed a lie detector. But Patterson also passed a lie detector saying it was real, so that doesn't
Well, what
tell
if they
us
were
that much.
pranking him? What if what is his name? Hieronymus?
Bob Hieronymus, I think, yeah.
What if he and the other guy were like, let's prank Patterson, and they never told him? So like he's fully convinced it's
Gimlin?
real. Yeah, sure.
No, no one believes that Bob Giblin was in on it if it was a hoax, because he's like this real salt of the earth guy. Apparently, he like lost a bet with his friends, and he said if he lost a bet, he would join the Marines. And they'd all join the Marines together, and none of his
Uh,
friends decided to join, but he said no, it was a bet, and then he joined.
okay, but sometimes people like to have fun, no matter who they are.
He's kept his story straight. To like, he's still alive and talks about this footage, and he's never like wavered. I'm just saying,
Gimlin's the one who's
if you
still
want
alive?
to accuse this guy of being the lie, everyone thinks that if there was a liar, it was Patterson because he was like always trying to run side hustles to make a bit of
So
money.
maybe they pranked Gimlin.
Yeah, on one phone interview, Gimlin said that maybe it was possible that he was pranked, but the other thing is they were both armed, and as Patterson was taking the footage, he said, "Cover me," as in like with the gun. So if he was faking this, he had him point a gun at a Sasquatch, and wouldn't you be like really worried that he'd take a shot to be like, let's kill it, and then we'll have a body and to bring back?
Yeah, I guess
Isn't it
so.
dangerous? Although they also agreed that they wouldn't shoot it
Mm.
beforehand if they found one.
So, this made me think. I keep going back to this because I was listening to it for like 5 hours today. The Cryptid Factor was talking about how there was a reward going out for anyone who could bring solid DNA or physical, as in a body, evidence of the Bigfoot not dead. Did anything ever happen from that? It was like $1 million prize.
I think we would have heard of it if it was successful.
Okay, so no one's won the $1 million yet then.
Not that I know of.
So, what do you think? Do you think that Bigfoot's real?
I think it's very intriguing. I think someone put it best. I was listening to a debate once, and a guy said whether or not there's an animal, with all the people that have had sightings, there's clearly some phenomenon going on here. So,
Could just be pareidolia, though. That's a phenomenon.
yeah, well, that's what I mean. But well, I think it's more than that, though. I think it's cultural. It's there's a lot of different things that factor into it. I am somewhat skeptical, but hopeful.
Do you still want to go on that expedition to the Pacific Northwest to look? I know you wanted to do that a while ago when I met you.
Yes.
I'll go with you.
Oh, thanks, pal.
Would
I
you,
remember.
I was going to say, would you bring a lucky podcast listener along, or do you want to go without anyone, like, slowing you down?
A lucky podcast listener. I don't know if Reese Darby's listening. He can come.
Oh, please come with us, Reese Darby. Except, I would just want to listen to him talk, and then we would scare away all the Bigfoot.
No, because what we do is, what you're supposed to do is you go to Olympic National Park at night and you drive around
Okay.
in your car. Most Bigfoot sightings are by the roadside, so
But if it's at night, how are we going to get good footage? We have to get really good night vision cameras.
yeah, I mean, we'll have dash cams and stuff. Maybe it will run in front of the car.
Okay. Sounds like a good trip. When we get Reese to go on the podcast, after I listen to all his podcast episodes, so step 1, listen to all his podcasts. Step 2, invite him to be a guest. Step 3, become best friends. Step 4, go on this trip together.
Sounds good. Before we move on, if we're about to move on, I just want to tell everyone that a few years ago, I remember the first time I showed you this footage.
Yeah.
Do you remember seeing it?
Yeah.
Do you remember what you called it?
No?
So it's called the Patterson Gimlin film or footage. And you were talking about it one day and you're like, remember when you showed me that stinky Peterson garbage?
I did not say that, did I?
Stinky Peterson garbage. So I take it that you weren't very impressed.
Well, because it's Gimlin, so maybe I was like trying to remember. Because garbage and Gimlin both start with a G sound.
There's a very popular YouTuber who also has the name Bob Gimlin. He does a lot of videos on Bigfoot,
Related?
but he's not. No, I don't think that's his real name. I think he just chose it because of the footage.
So I'll say what I think. I think it would be cool to go on this trip to look. I don't really know if it's real. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't really think about it, so I don't have an opinion. You know what I mean?
Right. You're sort of,
It's more like I like to think about things like this, like aliens and ghosts and stuff, because it's fun, not because I believe.
yeah. It's the one thing I'll say is that there's so many podcasts and witnesses and interviews about it that sometimes I remember, like when we both lived in Japan, there was a period of time of like a few months when I was driving that I just listened to, I think it was called Sasquatch Chronicles or something like that, where it was just people being interviewed. We listened to it together once. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember that.
But I listened to it so many times that it was just like in my head without even like making a decision or thinking about it, thinking through it consciously. It just like flipped where like Bigfoot was just a known animal to me for a while.
Yeah.
I'd be thinking about like something about Bigfoot and be like, oh yeah, those animals that live up in the Pacific Northwest. I was like, wait, maybe we don't know that for sure. But it was like, I don't know, strange.
You brainwashed yourself.
I brainwashed myself into just thinking they were a real animal and didn't
That's what
even
I'm doing
question it.
now. I'm brainwashing myself into thinking that I'm from New Zealand and that every single cryptid is real. Because, well, see, I had this list of music that I wanted to get through, and I got through it all. So then I started just listening every single day. Instead of listening to music when I'm driving, I listen to the Cryptid Factor. So it's
That's cool.
like 8 hours nonstop of just being bombarded with these cryptids are real, so and so cryptid stories, blah blah blah, and the New Zealand accent. It's like I'm changing, man.
That's the thing. If you do deep dives into this and you stay there for too long,
Yeah,
you
talk to me
know.
in a month and see if I'm still rational.
Although, yeah, you've never watched the X-Files, have you?
No, I've seen like an episode once, maybe on TV.
Yeah, I think the premise of that and why it works so well is that it's because it's like the believer paired with the skeptic, and they investigate things together.
Hmm.
Since Rhys Darby seems to be a big believer, and you seem to be a bit of a skeptic, there could be a show there. Just saying.
What about you? What are you gonna do? Be our cameraman?
Yeah, I'll be the cameraman. I have nothing interesting to say.
Okay. And Jane
Okay, we
Goodall can
move.
come too.
Yeah, yeah, she'll be forced to be on it when we keep misquoting her about cryptids. Believer in the Loch Ness Monster, Jane Goodall has staked her reputation on Nessie.
Oh my god. Uh, Okay, so let's go on to our wild chat topic for the day. Yeah?
Yep.
Put in some Halloween sounds. Okay, so as I mentioned before, I'm planning on having a wildlife themed Halloween party. Let's talk about the most inspired uses of this theme. So, first, let's go over the meme steal his, get the look, steal their look, steal his or her look. So, I've posted some memes in our document. For example, secretary bird, get the look. The secretary bird is a very ridiculous bird. Looks like it's holding
They're
its hands
cool.
behind its head or behind its body and like has a very expressive hairdo and a long beak. So to get the look of the secretary bird, you just need a fluffy white jumper, $150, tight black capri pants, $70, long white boots, $200, orange eye makeup, a lot of it, $20, extra thick eyelashes, $45, and then black chopsticks to stick in your hair, $8. And you can look as
And the price of looking like a secretary bird? Priceless.
you can look like that. Another one is look like the jewel squid. First, you just need the Marilyn Monroe Happy Birthday dress for $4,800,000, and then you
You
need
can't get a
squid.
similar dress? No, you need that exact one.
Yeah, because it's form fitting and very jewel encrusted. And then you need squid tentacle finger puppets for $16. Then you got the look. Just imagine someone wearing these. Like that's what I want my party to be about. Is you just dress like an animal in the most unhinged way if you want. There's also steal his look, the common loon. I thought this was so dapper. The loon is a very dapper animal. So you
Yeah.
just take a striped scarf, a black top hat, a black and white checkered blazer, a black coat, red sunglasses or like eyeglasses, black pants, black boots, a bow tie of an iridescent or black color, black gloves, a black watch. Just look fancy as heck and be black and white, like with the red eyes. It's so good. If you want to look at more because you've never heard of this meme before, just type steal the look animal meme and like there's so many of these, thousands. Let me know if you see anything really good.
Well, my first two didn't get any good results.
What? Steal his look animal meme?
Well, no, I was looking for a specific animal. So, do you have a costume planned for your party already?
Yeah, because I'm not really going to come up with anything fancy. I just have a onesie, like, that's perfect for it.
Are you
So
gonna
I'm just
dress as
going
that squirrel?
yeah, I'm going to dress as a flying squirrel. But I'm hoping other people who don't have a ready costume like that are going to do one of these more lazy and funny looks. Uh, what
They
animal
don't
were you
seem
looking?
lazy.
Well, no, but maybe not. What animal were you looking for?
Tarantula.
Okay.
I could imagine doing the Mexican red knee tarantula with like black and orange. That would be good Halloween colors too.
Yeah, I guess you're gonna just have to make this meme yourself. Imagining like um, red knee caps. What are they called? Shin guards? No.
Knee pads?
Yeah, that red knee pads. What's it called? The red knee tarantula.
Yeah, Mexican red knee.
Maybe you can make this meme and then put it in the video because I think what you would need for this outfit is the red kneecaps and shin guards because like it goes down pretty far. Um, like a brown shield thing to wear on your back, fuzzy black pants, fuzzy black gloves, and um, eyes, like googly eyes to glue to your head, so you have more than two eyes. Uh, and then a fuzzy black beard. Like, just, this is so good. Make this meme, please.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Oh my god, but it's such a good meme. I love this. It's like, are you really not gonna do it?
I have to find. What do you mean? Do I have to? I might
Do
throw
you want me to do
together a
it
few
for
stock
you? Fine,
photos.
I'll do it for you, okay? Mexican red-knee
Okay.
tarantula, steal his look. Or her look, probably. Um, so anyway, going by this theme, if you were coming to my party, which you're not, because you hate me, uh, and also I didn't
Yeah,
invite you.
sorry. Thanks a lot.
Anyway, what do you think would be a cool animal-based Halloween costume besides the red-kneed tarantula?
Well, I know you won't like this, but what about like light gray chinos, light gray shirt, and like a white chain or necklace, and some white shoes? Kind of
Um,
a African rhino or elephant look.
oh, okay. Yeah, and you would just need like a pool noodle painted gray through your nose, um, and huge ears. Um, yeah, I will let you guys know like what kind of costumes people wear. I'll update you. These memes are funny though, right? Like, I can't believe you've never seen them before.
Maybe I have, but it just didn't register.
I can't believe it because I think about this like 3 times a week. This is my Roman Empire.
Yeah, I'm too busy thinking about Rome to think about that. Sorry.
Right, okay. Well, Rome has nothing on the common loon, so. All right, let's move on to some Q&A. So we don't have any today. We haven't had any in a long time.
Since episode 17.
Yeah. But if you do have a comment, question, concern, query, or thought, you can email us at
The Wild World Podcast at gmail.com. It's all one word. The Wild World Podcast at gmail.com.
or you can leave a comment on this video. Um,
Yep.
yeah. So here's one comment that we got on the last podcast, the clip about interviewing a wildlife biologist. The comment is, I want to be a marine biologist. I listen to this podcast all the time to help. I first wanted to be a marine biologist when I saved a baby sea turtle from a piece of trash. I check all those boxes. XD. So I liked this comment. Thank you so much for listening, Florida Man 778. And I hope you are able to become a marine biologist in the future. I'm not sure how much help we will be, because you said you listened to our podcast to help you, which is like, I don't know if we're being very helpful, but if there is something specific you want us to cover in our podcasts or even in Thomas's videos, let us know.
And thank you for saving that turtle. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I hope you become
Um,
a marine biologist
yes.
and save many more turtles.
At least one. Okay, here's another, here's guess the video it came from. This one had some conflicting or maybe agreeing comments. I wasn't sure. One comment said, another fun episode. I think the cryptid was a snake. Mika had it right this time. Or Mika had it this time. Another person said, repeating the same thing or saying it louder doesn't win the court case. Face. So first of all, what video do you think this is?
It was the Loquata.
Yeah, it was the Cryptid Court. It was the podcast episode with Liquata and the Cryptid Court. Um, I don't remember who was the person who was repeating the same thing, saying it louder. Was that you or me?
I think it might have been you.
Okay, so see, one person said I was right and the other person said I was wrong. So,
Well, I don't think they were saying you were wrong, just that that tactic doesn't make you right.
well, person A thought that my tactic was good.
It's interesting though, because I thought I said that it, like I was for, but I thought I was saying it was an unknown kind of snake, and you were
Hmm.
saying it was more likely a known snake.
Hmm. I don't know. Okay, here is some more comments. If I can even get this. Oh, okay. Here's the comment. One problem is that you are looking through a lens of the current state of blank populations in the 21st century. I've just returned from Greece, where there are murals and mosaics from 1500 BC showing a plethora of fish which have been hunted to extinction in the Mediterranean yet thrive elsewhere. There are well documented catches of blank in Australia, which clearly are bigger than your assertion. A quick visit to the Mackay Fishing Club in Queensland, I think, or popping over to some of Western Australia's fishing clubs will give you pause for thought.
So is this from one of my videos?
Yeah,
This is how big can a tiger shark get?
exactly. Yes. What do you think about this comment?
Uh, I don't know. When I do those videos, I just try and find whatever the biggest thing we have on record is.
Well, do you think that there's better evidence that you've missed in Australia?
Maybe, but I remember specifically looking at a lot of records that were in Australia, and I think from McKay as well.
Well, it says it's well documented. So, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, they're not listening to this. A random comment on a different YouTube channel isn't going to go find our podcast and listen to the very end.
You don't know.
I do know because the analytics show that most people like don't listen past like the 10 to 11 minute mark.
So we're talking to no one right now.
We're
We should put a
talking to
little.
maybe one person.
We should put a little Easter egg in here, and if they hear it, then they should comment it. If you've
Yeah, if you put
listened
it in a
this far,
comment, then Mika will reply.
yeah. If you listened this far, what should we have them write in their comment?
I don't know, some word, some animal you wouldn't think of.
Uh, okay. If you're listening to this comment to this
If you've
podcast
listened this
right now,
far,
if you listened this far, please leave a comment. Include in your comment how you would dress as a maned wolf.
or maybe
What?
if they have the word maned wolf in the comment.
Yeah, sure. Talk about a maned wolf.
And Mika will reply.
I will reply. Anyway, do you have any comments for us today?
Um, I don't believe I do. Do you want me to look really quick?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Okay, well, next time you'll be hearing from us, we'll probably doing another interview.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we can announce it since we've already sort of announced it in the last podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if everything goes according to plan, the next interview will be us interviewing Calvin the Carnotaurus, YouTuber, fan of paleontology, fan of cryptozoology, fan of big cats, fan of memes,
I
maybe a
bet
fan
he
of
knows
ours, I don't
about
know.
the. I bet he knows about the steal the look meme.
Probably.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks very much for listening,
Thank you.
and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Everybody talks to me about. I'm romantic. I would like Bigfoot to exist. I've met people who swear they've seen Bigfoot. And I think the interesting thing is every single continent, there is an equivalent of Bigfoot or Sasquatch. There's the Yeti, there's the Yari in Australia, there's the Chinese wild man, and on and on and on. And, you know, I've had stories from people who, you have to believe them. So there's something, I don't know what it is. I'm always open-minded.